Why is it so hard to upload posts from make.com to WordPress and get them to look exactly the way you want them to? If you've tried to do this before, you'll know exactly what I'm speaking about. And in this video, I'm going to help solve this once and for all. And don't worry if you're a beginner, because this video will show you exactly, number one, how to connect make.com to WordPress. And number two, I'll show you a couple of different methods to actually get the exact result that you want, whether it's through a direct ChatGPT output or a Google document, so you can make changes before your post goes live on WordPress. So let's get right into it. So let's first speak about connecting WordPress to make.com. And if you do this right, just once and for all, you'll have a connection that will always be there, that will allow you to have a one-click upload to WordPress. And for me, figuring out how to make this connection work took a long time. I didn't realize that there were different ways make.com connects to different software, so there was a lot of trial and error before I figured this out. But once I did, I realized that connecting through an API key is one of the easiest ways that you can connect Make to a bunch of other software. And this is exactly what I'm going to show you how to do right now. So if you go to WordPress and type in Make Connector, or just do a Google search for that, you'll get to this page, which is the WordPress to Make plugin. You download that, you install it on your website, and then once you do, here, so you go to Make, and over there, when you go to Make, you'll have your API key. You grab that, and in Make, you just create a new module. Any post or any module will do. You just add a connection there, and then you enter your API key. So you just add, you enter your WordPress REST API base URL, just following this format. So yoursite.com/wp-json/, and then you paste in your API key there. Hit save, and that is done. So this is how you establish the connection between make.com and WordPress. Now, once you have this connection going, it's time to start publishing posts. And this is exactly what I will show you in this next part. So essentially, I'm going to show you how to skip the long process. And in this first method, we're going to go directly from ChatGPT into a WordPress post. So if I go here and I choose OpenAI, create a completion, move the trigger there, and now I can create a post directly over here. I'm going to choose my model. Let's choose system. You create, or you are an experienced SEO content writer. And let's say, create me a post, or create me a 600 word post about, which is okay. And let's run this once. And here we have the result of that post. What I could do is I can, first of all, delete those, go to WordPress and choose create a post. I have my connection already established, so then I can choose the title. Let's say dog training. For content, I'm going to paste in the result. I'm going to choose a post. And I can leave everything as is. I can also choose my category and so on and so forth. What I will choose here under status is draft, because I don't want this post to go live. So now, if I were to run this module once, I can paste in the result from ChatGPT, just as a test, and hit OK. And this created a new post with an ID of 462. So now if I go to my WordPress blog and refresh this, you see that I have one post in draft here, which is called Doctrine. If I preview that, you'll see that the post is live, or it's in draft right here. The problem is that the post looks horrible, right? It's all one big chunk of text. There's a lot of symbols here that don't make sense. So we need to fix that. So let's go back to make.com and make a few changes. So here, you'll see that the content is obviously what we're pasting or what we're passing through ChatGPT, which is this right here. What we want is we want to format this output, because this output is in what is called the Markdown format. So instead of ### or instead of asterisk, we want to change that into actual headings. So here we're going to add a module, and we're going to go Markdown to HTML. We're going to pass the input from ChatGPT, and we're going to now update the content from the output here to the output from here, because we want the HTML to actually be posted to WordPress. So let's try this again, run this once. So we'll create another post. This will be converted to HTML, and then this will be published to WordPress. So we'll go back here. Now we can refresh, and we have another post at 9:40. So we can look at this right here. And you can already see that this is a much better post, simply because we have that Markdown to HTML module. What if we wanted this post to have a featured image? So we'll go here. You see that this post has no featured image. But in general, in WordPress, each post should have a featured image. So let's go back to make.com and add a few more things. First of all, I would love to not have the title be dog training. So I would like to get a title for that is more customized towards the result here. So maybe this one, instead of being the H1 here, or it should be an H1 at least, we can have that be the actual title. So there are a few different ways how to do that. One would be to generate a title here in the OpenAI module. The other would be to just grab this and use that as the title. So if we know that this will always be here, we can just grab that. So let's just go with the first option, where we're going to have a title and we're going to have the contents. So now what I'm doing here is I'm going to say, please output in JSON format in this following this model, which means that I can have multiple outputs within the same ChatGPT module. So here, instead of 600, let's go with 300, just for the sake of this demo. I'm going to open up the advanced settings and choose JSON object, parse JSON response over there, which now means that I'll need to do a few additions here. But first, let's ensure that contents should be in Markdown ATX format. ATX is just the format that Markdown is in. So let's hit OK. Let's unlink. And let's see what we get here. So result, we have the title, the basics of the training, key tips for success, and then we have the actual article. Great. So now we can pass just the contents here, because that is what we want to convert from Markdown to HTML. And here we can replace the title with title and the HTML with contents. Hit OK. And let's run this again. So this is a great way if you're doing this method with just these three modules. If you want to create some sort of auto-blogging solution, which means that you publish a lot of posts very quickly, you just provide a topic, and then each day you publish 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 articles to your WordPress. Is it the best way to create posts? It depends. It depends on what you're trying to do with your site. If the aim is to publish as many posts as possible, this might be a good way of doing that. So first of all, here, let's just have a look at this. So we have the SEO title. What we want to do is remove this from being here. So we want to get straight into the contents. And we also want to add the featured image, as I mentioned earlier. So here, I'm just going to say output in JSON format. The content should be in Markdown ATX. the first line of the 4 contents gets straight to the introduction. Do not include a title. Okay. And now I'm going to add another module here, which is OpenAI create an image. And then we want to create an image using DALL-E 3 based on the title that I have generated. Then I want to upload that to WordPress. So what I'm going to do is add a module here, which is the WordPress upload image, what's it called? Media. Create a media item. I'm going to use the output from ChatGPT, generate an image, and I'm going to leave these as empty. What I'm then going to do is use the output from this to set the featured image of this post. So here I have the featured media ID. So if I grab the media item ID here, this should immediately use that as the post image. So let's run this again and see what we get. So this created the title and contents. Contents still has a title here, so we need to work on this. Because what we want is to start immediately with that. Here we have some type of issue, missing value of required. Okay. So apparently, okay. So let's try mapping there, data, file name. Okay, let's try that. See if this generated a correct image. So it did. Okay. Before we run this again, let's give it an example of what we want. So let's grab that. And here, I'm going to add an assistant message. So add a message, assistant, good example, and I'm going to add bad example. So here, for bad example, I'm going to leave this as is. For good example, I'm just going to remove that. Hit OK, hit run once, and let's see if this fixes the 2 issues we had. So output is good. So it just got straight to the point. The problem I see now is that there are no ATX formatting. And here it failed again. So missing value. Okay, let's try and fix this. So here we need the data, which is data, response image, data. I see, yes. So this is expecting data, but here I'm providing a URL. So I need to go here and choose image file. So now if I run this again, say dog, let's see what we get. So essentially this was generating a URL, but this module was expecting image data, which are 2 different types of formatting. So now, let's see if we can map this correctly. So data would be data, great, and this would be the image name. Okay, so that should fix that. For this right here, what I want to do is actually update the example I gave. So first say we have each dog is unique, training your dog well. It's a long process and you need to be patient. So let's copy this, let's leave that, and let's now paste that in. So now this is a bad example. Bad example. Don't think that pastes correctly, so I'm just going to copy this, go back to the bad and delete it. So I should have 2, good. Bad, and for bad, title of the article. This should be, let's try that. Okay, hit run. Let's see what happens now. Okay, that seems to have worked well. That worked well. Great. So let's go back to WordPress, refresh this, and now we can edit this. So the title looks good, text looks good, featured image looks good. So that is great. But what if, instead of going directly to WordPress, you wanted to have an intermediate stage where you get a Google document with the stuff, and then you're able to approve or disapprove it before it goes live on WordPress? So in this case, we need to add a couple of steps here. We're not going to go here at this stage, but these would actually come later. So let's unlink these, because what we're going to do here is we're going to go to Google Docs. We're going to create a document, and in this document, we're going to pass the title, and for the contents, we're going to pass the HTML. And one thing I found with Google Docs is you need to specify that it is an HTML document. I'm going to choose OK, and now this will create a Google document. What I would like to do then, after I approve it, would be to have a way to get this Google document and then upload that to WordPress. So let's start step by step. So here, you would need to have some sort of way of saving information. For example, you need to have a way to save the Google Doc ID, and you need to have a way to save the featured image ID or URL. In this case, since we are saving the image in a Google document, I'm going to change this back to URL. So here, I'm also going to insert my image. I'm going to use some HTML, and I'm going to insert the URL of the image and hit OK. So then I'll be able to review this, and here manually I'm going to set the Google Doc ID and the featured image URL. In a live situation, in a live production model, you'd have this set to some sort of webhook or a way to get data here. But for now, I'm just going to set them manually. Then I'm going to use Google Docs to get the contents of a document, which would be the document ID. And then we're going to upload. Actually, I need to download the image here as well. So I need to add a module to get the image file from a URL, which would be featured image URL. And then you can get that along with an image. And we should be able to get the content here and then upload this here. So we can also specify the title. Let's say this would be a title variable here. So let's try this step by step. So this is kind of step 3, and you would use it if you're frustrated with the output that you're getting from ChatGPT. You want to save something to a Google document, which would then allow you to review it and then continue with the upload process. So let's go here. Let's run this once. So in this first step, all we're doing is generating the article, generating the image, and saving everything to a Google Doc. And while this is completing, I just wanted to mention that if you want to learn how to build all this, I've just created a free newsletter. I would love for you to join. So check out the link in the description for that. And if you're a business owner that wants to grow or scale your business with AI and automation, check out the link in the description as well. I'm offering a free consultation to explore how we can use these ever-growing, ever-changing technologies to help you with your business. So both links are in the description below. Here, if I look at the web view link, I open that, you'll see that I have the image that was created, and that is a huge image. And I have the article itself. So if I wanted, I could change stuff here. So instead of saying training techniques combined with professional guidance and training techniques can address these problems, so I can make changes as I want. What I'm going to do is, let's say I made the changes, and in this case, I would save this stuff to something like Airtable, for example, and then be able to launch it at the click of a button. But in this case, here I'm going to go to here. I'm going to paste in my doc ID. I'm going to paste in the Google or the image, the featured image URL, which is this right here. And I'm going to choose a title, doc training with editing. I don't know. Let's call it that. So now if this works well, I should get the contents of the document, get a file, which is the image, create the media item, so upload the image to WordPress, and then create a post. The only thing I think this won't work well with would be the formatting. So here I'm assuming that if I look at post ID 467, which is this one, the formatting will be off. Yes. So edit. So the image should be there. It doesn't seem to be there. And we need to consider the formatting. Okay, the image is there. Just took some time to load. The problem is that this is getting the contents of a document. And here, you'll see body content. And you'll see that this actually breaks down each specific part of the Google document into sections. So section 4, it's a paragraph, there's the style, there's the element. So if you want to do this, you could rebuild it step by step. A better way would be to, instead of get contents of a document, replace that, the module. So here I'm going to replace that with Google Docs, and there is a download a document. And what I'm going to do is download this as HTML. So technically, okay, let's map the document ID, which is that right there. So technically, this should download the whole document. Now, the problem might be that this will download the image as well, but let's see if this will work. So for contents, let's put the contents of, so this will download. Let's run this once, try the Google Doc ID, which is that right there, and hit OK. So this downloads data in that format. And one way to convert this into HTML should be to use the data, which is here, and we use the toString function. I think it's a capital letter. Yep. So let's try that and see if it works. Let's go back here, edit, and now we get all of that from the Google Doc. Obviously, we have the image as well. So in this case, you need to decide whether you want to have the image in the Google Doc or whether you want to essentially remove the image somehow. So if I go back here, you'll see that for content, I have the image included, which is this right here. One way would be to grab all this and just say remove the image from this code. So use an AI module to remove that image. Alternatively, if you're doing the manual approval process, you can then hop in to the WordPress post and just delete it manually. But this is a way to have a manual check before uploading or before publishing stuff to your post, to your WordPress site. So then save draft, and then you can obviously publish when the time is right. So that is that. So if you have ever struggled to upload posts to WordPress, now you know how to do it. You know how to do it through make.com, either directly through a ChatGPT output or directly from a Google document. Both options work, both options have value in them. It just depends on whatever you're trying to do. Anyway, hit the like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.